Hello fellow geeks, welcome back to 100 Days of Horror. I'm Geek Named Bob, and welcome to Day 3. Before I get into talking about the actual TV show again that I'm here to talk about today, I wanted to point out what is apparently YouTube law. I forgot to mention subscribing, which I think is down there, or over there, or up there, around there, and here. So don't forget to subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. Eventually the videos will get better. I'll learn how to edit best and when to pause and how to put fancy stuff on there. Right now I'll just show my hands. Yay. Empty thing there on top of my video shirt. So, and don't forget you can also find my written work at geeknamedbob.com or on Facebook or Twitter with the same names to find various other things I'm talking about, where I write about more than just horror, but science fiction, anything else I like to see. I try and get a review up a day, but I'm focusing on these last couple of days, so I haven't posted anything new there. But anyway, back to what we're talking about today. I finally got around, 6 years late, to watching the first season of Black Mirror. It's a show I've been wanting to watch for a while, but my wife has wanted to watch it too, and just kind of getting our schedules lined up enough, along with everything else that we've wanted to see that's more recent, or we're watching our way through. So we finally get around to this show. We haven't seen the other episodes as well, so please don't spoil me for what's going to happen if I'm getting close to any of the plots that were to come, or anything that that I touch upon here that is better talked about in later episodes. So Black Mirror is a limited run anthology show that first premiered on BBC4 in 2011. It's created by Charlie Brooker, who has written a great chunk of the episodes, not all, but he's always had his hand somewhere along the line in most of what's been out there. So the first 3 episodes are National Anthem, 15 million merits, excuse me, and The Complete Story of Your Life. I'm not going to go look this up now. I looked it up, I've read it 100 times, and I keep saying it wrong, so I'm just take it as it is. Maybe I'll figure out how to do the fancy thing that will say the right one underneath. That, or why don't you comment so I can prove someone's actually watching this and it's not just me talking to myself. I did get a couple views. Maybe I'll reach the double digits this time. But hey, you always start small, right? And this made me say small. I don't know. Maybe I'll look back in a couple years and yeah, I can't believe I did that. But hey, that's part of social media, right? I'm going to look back at everything I've done because it's going to be published and it's going to be there, which is mainly the focus of a lot of these shows, from what I can tell, especially the 3rd episode where the implants let you see what you're going to talk about. Now, instead of going episode by episode of what worked and what didn't and treating each like a movie, I'm just going to talk about in general about the series, where I really dug it. I really like the ideas of the way that the modern technology is influencing the way we live, no shit, but also the horrors that come with that. Even something in the future like 15 million merits, or Story of Your Life, what this called Story, or maybe more modern like National Anthem. It's it's pretty terrifying of what these can do. These are more really science fiction morality tales, like the often also lumped into horror Twilight Zone, which is just often linked to as a modern Twilight Zone, which I don't think it's quite accurate in this case. It seems more Outer Limits or one of the one-off anthologies than it is Twilight Zone, which is more based upon the twists of fate around someone trying to revisit themselves, which ultimately tend to be slightly positive, and this is a very, very negative show. To which my wife described it as, I'm going to butcher his name because I always do, Chuck Palahniuk from Fight Club, more of a technologically based Chucky P stuff, with how negative it is about humans and human emotions, and often the angry young man, or the angry older prime minister, but of Toby Kebbell particularly in the 3rd episode, and the not angry but still kind of dispossessed Daniel Kaluuya, I mispronounced his name too, from Get Out, who's in 15 Million Merits, and the terror of being on American Idol, or British Idol in this case, right? Or whatever the hell they're calling it, but the obvious parallels are there. But it's really amazing how close that information is to your fingertips. For your dad can see what you're working on, which is wonderful, but also some random person can destroy your life by tapping into your world, because it's all there. Like, I have my Facebook up right now over here, and I don't know what could be going on there. No one's interested in my Facebook, you think, until someone actually controls it. Of all these random hacks, of you see your aunt post a bunch of random stuff, and like, did she go more crazy, or oh no, she's been hacked. That's the way things go, where everything is so much at everyone's fingertips, and it's all out there. And what someone who's doing it wrong can come up with, such as the Prime Minister fucking a pig, which is the focus of the first episode, which is a really interesting way to start the first episode, because you're just putting the line way out there, and if you can cross that line, you can probably take anything else that comes after. I don't know if anything gets worse or more nasty as the series progresses, but that was a really, really bold way to start a series with with the Prime Minister fucking a pig, which is so fun to say, and really horrible to watch, or hear more than watch, and see the reactions of. But of course, we all watch, and that's what makes it scary. Where, the Truman Show had everyone watching him and then getting bored and turning it off when it was done, and almost the same thing here. Like, it's done, and everyone goes back to their lives. Someone's worst moment, someone's biggest life, is an entertainment to be turned off when it's done, or to be shoved off and someone else becoming the star for you, and or how your own hopes and dreams and angriness as an angry young man gets turned into something, its own television show, akin to Network, when when the news anchor yelled, "I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it any longer," and he ends up becoming famous for it. He's angry for a good reason, and he gets reused by the powers that be, to subvert his message. Like, the angry young man, the angry old man, in the case of Network, gets used up by this system that he's trying to influence, he's angry about, who's watches as it changes. And I even really talked about the third episode, which is how your own personal bullshittery can get to you and mess you over, which Toby Kebbell finally have a man who's always I've seen as a great actor, who's in awful movies. This is Fantastic Four, and Ben-Hur, though he's really great as Koba and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's really weird to see him as a great performance and non-CG. He's in half CG, the back half of a Fantastic Four, and then interacting with the new Doctor. And part of my headcanon always says that if the Doctor's around, something else is going on, but my wife doesn't like that, so I have to accept it, right? Jodie Whittaker is really great to watch here too, as like her own issues come back to force based upon her husband, and be able to see everything that it's scary to see everything that you think you did, and the way your memories work. If you always have access to your memories, how do you move forward? How do you get past any issues that you might have? Is an argument that you had once where someone was wrong is going to be played again and again and again? It's almost like an opposite version of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where if you can erase what you've done, do you learn from it? But also, if you can never forget it, do you learn from it either? If you're never allowed to move on from something, it's two different sides of the same coin. And I've been told the rest of the series also focuses on the same way that technology can hurt us. Like, I think Leaker said, like, now, or the stupid things we might do 10 minutes in the future with said technology, where every technology is a positive thing. Like, I can talk to 4 people right now on YouTube, and someone across the world might see what I'm thinking about, and strike up friendships. You never know. Like, or someone across the world might be destroying my bank account right now. Who knows? Be seeing what I'm doing and learning about where I live, and attack. Kidnap a wife, maybe fuck a pig, right? Who would want to do that? But so I really look forward to watching see where the rest of the show goes, because it's a sci-fi show more than it is horror, but I'm counting it of how horrific it is, and the implications of what we see and what can be sent forward and what can be done with the technology we have, and we've got to truly understand how to use. Like, we're continually being watched, and in some ways that's fine, transparency, but also in some ways it can be used awfully like the way that certain government agencies right now are trying to watch the voter records because they don't like the way that goes. It can be used as a dictatorship, or it can be used to increase what we see and what we talk about. When everyone's held accountable, what can we do? It's positives and the double-edged sword of everything that comes out, and I think that's what Black Mirror represents. It's the Black Mirror to everyone's society. But in some ways, I'm looking at my television right behind the camera. It's black right now, flashing back, and so much about media, and so much of my time is spent with media. That is the Black Mirror, the television set I'm looking at, or the screen over here, or my phone over there, or this camera when I turn it off, or just simply literally a darkened mirror looking back at me. Something to think about as I move into the next season 2 soon, and then the Netflix season, and hopefully get caught up before season 4, or really 3.5, comes out. Thank you for watching. Hope you like what I had to say, or dislike it. Discuss it down below. And yeah, subscribe and come check out the rest of my stuff anywhere else. Thank you.